Hello, my name is Stephen Crossan. I am the Manager of Solutions Consulting at Scalable Software, and in this short video, I'm going to tell you why you are leaving money on the table with regards to software asset management and what you can do about it using our software platform called Acumen. The importance of software metering is usually well understood in an enterprise. The trouble is the current paradigm of software metering only goes as far as showing which software was opened. Now, that seems fair and accurate for any software license agreement you've ever read, but the trouble is that software has a habit of opening up even when a user isn't looking at it or has even requested it. And sometimes the software is run momentarily so that a user can view a file, potentially shrug, and then close it again. Now, these two issues are why software savings go unrealized and there is more money that can be recouped. Scalable Software has a solution called Acumen, and one of its many facets is based around cost optimization. Our approach with Acumen with respect to software usage is to understand a user's engagement with software. This means we not only want to know if the software was running, but we also want to know how heavily it was being used. And depending on the answer, we might want to remove the software completely or downgrade the software to something with a lower cost, while still catering to a user's needs, of course. For example, consider having the data to decide on whether Acrobat Professional or Acrobat Reader was appropriate, or the full version of Visio versus a free Visio viewer. However, the opportunity is almost limitless if you start to factor in other types of software such as expensive engineering applications. The incremental honing of the thought process behind how an enterprise makes an informed decision is what we like to call the second squeeze. The difference between being opened and used is not just about being pedantic. There are tangible and sizable savings to be made. We call it the second squeeze because in all likelihood an enterprise already has an established approach to software metering. There are probably a handful of tools and integrations to track usage already, and the cost of change and the time required may be prohibitive or slow. So for these customers, Acumen can just sit alongside their existing tooling to provide that deeper insight and give you the second squeeze of the proverbial software usage orange to unlock yet more savings. And for customers that don't already have software metering, Acumen can of course take care of this task, and the full savings can be realized in the first single squeeze. So let's take a look at how this is achieved with an Acumen software demonstration. Acumen is consistently monitoring the usage of all applications on a user's device. So if it's running, then we can see it and report back data across key information metrics, some of which you can see on the screen in front of you right now. What I'm going to do is drill down into a more detailed view, and we're going to bring up a list of all the software that we've seen running on the customer's estate. I'm just going to sort by usage in terms of hours and minutes. As a quick side note as well, you can see there are some applications here which would be running inside of a web browser. We allow customers the ability to not just track locally installed applications, but you can also define URLs of your business apps, and we'll try to treat them as locally installed applications as well. Now, the key to understanding adoption or engagement of the software is to look at total keystrokes and mouse clicks. We don't know what the keystrokes are. We're only enumerating the number of keystrokes we've seen. And equally, we don't know where on the screen they're clicking. We just know that they are clicking the mouse within any given application. And what we can do here to keep this relevant, we'll search for an application such as Acrobat. And we can filter based on a number of things, but I'm just going to filter based on product. I'm going to look for anything that contains Acrobat in its name. And we can see Acrobat Professional here has been detected on 11 computers. So I can drill down into this, and this will bring up a dashboard for the application. We'll see trend information around adoption, usage, crashes, amount of people where it's unused as well. But where it gets more interesting is if I drop down to the detail view, I can bring up a list of users who have been using it as well. And again, I'm just going to sort by usage minutes, and we'll see various stories starting to appear here. We have a number of users who are using the application very heavily. We, of course, have the token users at the bottom who aren't using it at all for the period that we're looking at. Incidentally, the period we're looking at is the previous week, but we can expand upon this to look at the week before that or any given month or 3-month period, depending on where we're interested. But we also have a couple of users which are standing out to me. We have Leroy Marco and we have Joel Jousey as well. We can actually see, despite having high utilization in terms of hours and minutes, there's only, in Leroy's case, 19 keystrokes and 15 mouse clicks. So this tells me that this user is using this application as a viewer. They're perhaps searching in the application, scrolling the mouse wheel, clicking about a little bit, but they're certainly not what we would call industrious. So for these two users, Leroy and Joel, I would consider giving them a different application for viewing PDFs such as Acrobat Reader, or they can even use their web browser in those particular cases. Whether or not you choose this as a conversation starter or you just do it automatically will be at the company's discretion, but there is certainly scope here for additional savings with these users. And if you want to focus on particular groups of users, you can do as well. Again, with the filtering, as well as looking at different time periods, we have a very capable filtering option over here on the right-hand side. You could look at given departments. You might have a geographical preference for managing your licensing across cities or continents. You could even focus on particular roles, so you could avoid managers and executives if you're worried. And equally, you could look at teams as well. Thank you for watching this short demonstration. Acumen has a lot more to offer across the software asset management and digital experience landscape. So you can find out more by visiting our website at www.scalable.com, or you can email us at sales@scalable.com, and we look forward to hearing from you. Thanks for your time.